data interpretation based on triangular cum tabular data. Let's see how question could be formed on it. This is a question. The question says, the figure given below gives the percentage of people who like three sports: cricket, football and basketball in three schools P, Q and R. No student likes more than one sports and each student like each one sports, at least one sports. Okay. Before we move forward, let's understand what is this data is. Now this tabular data is simple. 1 minute. Okay, this tabular data is simple. Here it says school P, Q and R, and the number of students in the school is 2500, 4000 and 3000. What about this one? Triangular data. Here it shows cricket, this side it is football and the other side it is basketball. And how do we connect this percentage and school? Look at this 25%. On this 25% line, I have two schools, school P and school Q. That means from school P, 25% of its students likes cricket. What is the total number of students in school P? That is 2500. That means 25% of it likes cricket. So is the case of Q. Q is falling on 25% line. So 25% of students of school Q likes cricket. So here school Q, the total number is 4000. So 25% of it likes cricket. So is the case of school R. Now school R is lying on the 75% line. That means 75% of the student of school R likes cricket. What is the number of school R in number of students in school R? 3000. So 75% of it likes cricket. Okay. Let's understand one more about football. I think in football also there is three schools, school P, and school P is falling on 25% line. That means 25% of students of school P likes football. School P, total number of students are 2500. 25% of it likes football. So is the case of Q. Q is falling on the line of 50%. That means 50% of school Q likes football. So this is school Q. Total number is 4000. 50% of it likes football. R. The R is falling in between 0% to 25%. So the in between percentage will be 12.5%. That means 12.5% of school R likes football. So school R, this is school R, 3000 students, 12.5% of it likes football. Now you understood how to read this percentage. So I will leave it this basketball for you. You try this. Now we will move on to the question. First question. What is the total number of students in the three schools together who like cricket? Three schools together. When you say three schools together, we have three different schools, that is P, Q and R. These three schools together likes cricket. So this is cricket. Okay. Now we know how to read this percentage. What I can observe here, 25% of school P likes cricket. School P 25%. What about school Q? It's also 25%. How about R? So 75% of R likes cricket. So this is 75%. So 25% of 2500, that is 1/4. So 1/4 is 6 4 24 and 2 5 625. So here school Q 1/4 of 4000, that is 1000, and 75% of 3000. So this is 3000 into 3 by 4. So it gets cancelled. 4 7 28 and 4 5 and 0. So 75 into 3, which is equal to 2250. So this is 2250. Now the sum of this is your answer, that is 5. 2 plus 5 is 7. 6 plus 2 8, and 2 plus 1 is 3. That means total 3875 students from all the schools together likes cricket. So let's see, these are the options we have. So do we have option 3875? Yes, I can see it's 3. Option choice 3. Yes, understood? Okay, good. Let's move on to the before I move on to the next question, the same question can be attempted in a different way. Look at that method, and even that particular method may not be very useful for this particular question, but the concept which we learn in the process of answering in a other method, that will be useful for other typical question. Let's see how do we do the same question in a different way. Here 25% of 2500, again here. Now again 25% of 4000 and 75% of 3000. Instead of 75, I will also take 25% of it instead of 75. So in the process what happens, I am taking 25% of P, 25% of Q and 25% of R. So instead of 3 calculations, I can take the total of the number of students, that is 500, and then 2 plus 4 is 6 plus 3 9. So 9500. I can take the 25% of 9500 because 25% is common for all the schools. So let's take 1/4 of it. So 1/4 of it, it's a 2 times. Now 15 is left. 4 3 12 and 7 and 5. Okay. So this is 2375. I need one more calculation. What is that? Here I am supposed to take 75% for school R, but I took 25%. So what is the additional left? 50% is the additional part which is left. So I need to add 50% of 75. 50% of 3000. Now what is 50% of 3000? That is nothing but 1500. Okay, so add this 1500. So this 5 7 3 and I'm sorry, this is 8, this 8 and 2 and 1 3. So 3875. You got the same answer here? 3875? Yes. Now I hope you understood this, that what we did, we made the general for this percentage 25 25 and 25. So the total number of students 9500. So I took 25% of 9500 instead of taking 25% of 2500, 25% of 4000, 25% of 3000. Instead of 3 calculation, I took 25% of 9500. So I got this figure. Now the figure which supposed to be taken 75% of 3000, on which I took 25%. Now additional 50% is to be taken and to be added to the resultant number. So 50% of 3000 is 1500. So this 1500 is added. I got the total figure. Hope you understood this. Yes, great. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 2. What sports is liked by the highest number of students? What sport? So we have 3 sports: cricket, football and basketball. Now I need to find out the number. How many likes cricket, how many likes football, and how many likes basketball. And then only I can find out of these given options, so which sport is liked by most number of people. Let's have a calculation here. This is cricket, C for cricket, and I write F for football, and I write B for basketball. Now cricket, we have already calculated the number of people who like cricket in our previous question, but not necessary that we get that question in the exam. What if that question is not there? You need to go for the fresh calculation for cricket. Okay. For the time being, we will take the help of the previous figure, that is 3,875. Okay. Let's come to this cricket. 3,875. How about football? So football P 25%. So 25% of 2,500. The number of students in P is 2,500. So it comes 2,500. So we need 1/4 of it. So 4 6 24 and 625. Okay. This is 625. About Q, football. Q is 50%. Can you see here? Q is 50%. Okay. So 50% of 4,000 is 2,000. What about R? I can see R is in between 25% to 0%. That means, as we earlier discussed, it should be 12.5%, which is equal to 1/8. So take the 1/8 of 3,000. So 8, 3, 24, 8, 7, 56, 8, 5, 40. So it's a 375. So when I add this number, I can clearly see this sum will be smaller than this number. So you don't need to add. But still, if you want to add and then compare the figure, you can do that. That is 5, 5, 10 carry 1, and then 2 plus 1, 3 plus 7 is 10 carry 1, and there's 10 carry 1, 2 and 1, 3. So it is 3,000. So between cricket and football, I can see that cricket is highest. One calculation is left, that is basketball. Now basketball, school P. School P is 50%. So 50% of 2,500, which is 1,250. Next, school Q. So I can say school Q falls under 25%. That means 25% of school Q likes basketball, and 25% is 1/4. So I can take 1/4 of 4,000. It's nothing but 1,000. Next, school R. School R is again in between 0 to 25%. Here is school R. If I look at this, so the middle one must be 12.5%, because in between 0 to 25%, and this is 1/8. Okay, so 1/8 of 3,000. So this is 3,000's 1/8. Already we calculated for some other figure, that is 375. So take this 375. So I can observe that this figure is less than 3,875, but still the calculation is simple, so you can do it. That is 5 and 7 plus 5, 12 carry 1, 2 and 1, 3 plus 3, 6, and then it's 2. So 2,625. The highest is cricket. as the highest is cricket. Therefore, your option choice 1. What was the question? What sport is liked by the highest number of students? So the cricket is liked by the highest number of students. Now what we did here, we calculated the number of each sports. We calculated about cricket, about football, and about basketball, all the values, real values, and then we worked out on that which sports is highest. Instead, we can change the method. Let's see if you can feel a little more easy or comfort with the second method. Okay, the same question now. Now here, instead of real value, I will try to take the percentage. So this is cricket, football and basketball, and the percentage of cricket of P, Q and R. This is 25%, 25% and 75%. How about football? P is 25, Q is 50, 25, 50 and R is 12.5%. So this is 12.5. Next about basketball. P 50%, Q 25%, R 12.5%. So this is 50%, 25%, 12.5%. Now compare between cricket and football. What could I see about P? 25% of P. Football is also 25% of P. So here the number will be same. Okay. What about Q, school Q? 50% of 4,000, 25% of 4,000, and here 50% of 4,000. So here football will have the higher number. Okay. Now what about this part? School R 75% of 3,000, whereas school F 12.5% of 3,000. So in case of P they are equal. In case of Q, school Q, F is greater than Q. How much is greater? 25% greater. And what is 25% of 4,000? 1,000 more. Okay. So I write here F is 1,000 more. And what about R? In R, it is C which is more. Cricket which is more. And how much more? 62.5%. The difference between this is 62.5% more. And 62.5% is nothing but 5 by 8. You must be knowing this percentage to fraction. Okay. So 5 by 8 into 3,000. So will it be greater than, no need of working out the exact number, will it be greater than 1,000 or not? If this result will be greater than 1,000, that means cricket must be greater than football. Am I clear? Because football is in school Q, football is 1,000 more, and school R, cricket is more than football. So if the cricket is more than football and that is more than 1,000, then the cricket must be higher than football. So by observation I can say that yes, this figure must be greater than 1,000. If you are not comfortable, you can always have an option to cancel this one. These all are not a big figure. That is 8,324 and then 8,756 and 8,5. So 375 into 5. Even 300 into 5 will be 1,500. So obviously this result is greater than 1,000. So I will eliminate this football. Okay. Okay, move on to the next. I will compare cricket to basketball. Here the basketball has 50% of P while cricket has 25%. That means basketball has 25% more. And what is 25% of 2500? It's 625. Okay, I will erase these figures to clean the screen. Okay, now so I can see the P has 625 more in basketball over cricket. Fine. When come to school Q, it's a cricket 25%, basketball is also 25%. So there is no difference in the number of students from Q who likes cricket and the number of students who like basketball. Let's come to R. Now here I can see that cricket is liked by 75% when compared to basketball only 12.5% in school R. So this difference is 62.5%, which is again is equal to 5 by 8, and 5 by 8 of what? 5 by 8 of 3000. Will this 5 by 8 of 3000 be greater than 625 or not? Yes, obviously. For previous questions we have worked out the same figure. You can see still figure is there on the screen. So obviously the basketball will not be highest. So we left with cricket. So cricket is highest. Now as I am explaining this concept first time, therefore I took some time to explain it, and in the process it may take some time, but once you understand the concept, this with this method you can answer the question a little faster and at the same time with a similar accuracy. Okay, so try these methods, and this is more useful when the figures are more complex. Here you may not find much difference between the previous method and the current method, but when the figure is complex you will find that this is easier than the other method. Let's move on to the next slide. Question number 3. What percentage of total student like basketball? What percentage of total student? What is the total student first? The total number of students are this 5 and then 2 plus 4, 6 plus 3, 9. So 9500 is the total number of students. What percentage of the total number of students like basketball? So I need to find out how many likes basketball. And these figures are very direct and simple. 50% of P. So take the 50% of P, that is 1250. Q 25%. Yes. So 25% of 4000. This is 1000. And R, this is 12.5%, and as we earlier discussed, 12.5% in terms of fraction is 1 by 8. So 1/8 of 3000, and we have already worked out what is 1/8 of 3000, but still if you want I can work out over here. 3000's 1/8, this is 8, 8 3 24, 60, 8 7 56, and 40, 8 5 40. So this is 375. 375. The total is 5, 12, carry 1, and this is 6, and this 2. So what is this number? The number of students, the total number of students who like basketball. Now the question asks, what percentage of total number of students like basketball? So my numerator is 2625 by 9500. So as you go with into 100, why I am doing this? Because in denominator I can see 2 zeros are there, so this 0 0 gets cancelled, and this again gets cancelled by 5 19 times, and with 5 5 5 25, and the next 25. So 525 divided by 19. So how many times with 19? 19 to 38, 5 to 5, 19 to 38. So the number left is 14 and 5, 145. So with 19, it goes on 7 times, 19, 7, 133. So your answer is 27 point something. So check your option. In the option, do you have any option called like 27 plus something? Yes, I can see that this is option 2. So your answer is 2. Okay, it's an easy question, and it's a very direct. Nothing can be done beyond this. Let's move on to next question. How many of the 3 given sports for any of the 3 given sports, what is the minimum difference between the number of students who like that sports in any 2 schools? Is it clear? For of any of the 3 given sports, so 3 given sports are cricket, basketball and football. For any of the 3 given sports, what is the minimum difference between the number of students who like that sports in any 2 schools? So by this time, we worked out the number of students for cricket, number of students for football, basketball. The similar way I can find out the number of students for football. And these 2 figures are already available for us from the previous calculation, so I don't need to repeat the calculation. Now take the number of students for football, and once you take the number of students for football, we can find out the number of students who like the sports in any 2 schools. What is the minimum difference? Is it clear? Okay. But suppose this question is previous questions, we were not having any calculations for the total number of students playing cricket from different school, number of students playing basketball from different school. Then you need to get into the calculation of all the 3. How many calculation here we will have? For cricket, 3 calculation, P, Q and R. For basketball, we will have 3 calculation. For football, we will have 3 calculation. After 9 calculations, then you need to compare the figures, and then you will able to fix your answer. Instead, let's see, can we change the approach to simplify a little and then faster the process also? Let's see this one. Okay, now this is cricket, football, basketball. The percentage of cricket: school P 25%, school Q 25%, school R 75%. Yes. Football P 25, Q 50. This is 25, 50, and this is 12.5. And how about basketball? That is 50, 25 and 12.5. Is it right? 50, 25 and 12.5. Now the question is clear to all of you or not? For any of the given sports, what is the minimum difference between the number of students who like that sports in any 2 schools? So I need to find out what is the minimum difference of number of students who likes cricket from one school to another school. As we have 3 schools, the difference between P to Q and P to R and Q to R. So minimum of this. And football, minimum of P to Q, difference of P to Q, P to R and Q to R. Minimum difference of it. So is the case of basketball. So the least of that will be my answer. That is minimum difference. So let's check cricket and school P and Q. So both has 25%. It's a 25% of P and 25% of Q, and R 75% of R. So by observation, can I say school P to school R, it cannot be the minimum difference, because here 2500 is a smaller base than 3000. In other words, 3000 is higher base than 2500, and this 75% is higher than 25%. So here the base is greater than this base and the percentage is greater than this percentage. Then obviously the gap is increasing by two sides. One is in terms of base, the other is in terms of percentage. So therefore the gap will be high. Now when I compare to, let me take out, erase this. Okay. Now is 75%. Now this to this, P to R, no. So what I observe is the least difference will be here, P and Q. So what is that least difference? 25% of 2500 and also 25% of 4000. And here being in 25% and 25% both, it makes the calculation, it's more easy. Why? The difference will be the 25% of the difference of base, because both the percentage are 25. So the difference will be 25% of the difference. Okay. So what is 25% of the difference? So the difference between these two is 1500. 25% is nothing but 1/4, and it comes 4, 3, 12, 4, 7 and 5. So 375 is the difference. Okay. Now where we are? Here P and Q, the difference is 375. So this is the least difference from cricket. Now come to football. Here 25%, P is 25%, Q 50%, R 12.5%. Now this 25% and 50%. If you observe this one, here the base, the Q base is higher than P, and Q, this percentage, which is 50%, is just double of 25% here. So the margin will be huge. And another option I have, that comparing from P to R. Here what I observe is the base of R comparing to P is greater, whereas this breakup, that is in terms of percentage, the percentage is smaller. So in case of football, I can see this will be the least difference, the difference between P and R. So let's take that difference, 25% of 2500, that is 2500, 25% is nothing but 1/4, and which we have already worked out this figure, that is 4624 and this 25. So this is the figure for P, and figure for R, that is 1/8 of 3000, and we have already seen 1/8 of 3000 in our earlier calculation. If you remember the figure, it's fine, otherwise you can do it now. That is 8,324 and 8,756 and 8,540. So this comes 375. So what is the difference between these two? This 0 and 12 minus 7 is 5, and then 5 minus 3 is 2, so 250. So here we have a difference of 250. Obviously this difference is smaller than the difference 375. Remember that the question which we are doing, minimum difference. So the minimum difference is not 375, you can cancel that. Now come to basketball. Where is that basketball? Fine. Now 50% of P. I can erase these calculations. Okay. Now basketball. The basketball P is 50%. Here I can say it's 50%, 25%. It's a big difference between 50% and 25%. But what is happening here, you see, when compared to base, the base is just reverse relation of a breakup. Here Q base is more, whereas Q breakup is less. So in the base it is increasing the value, but in terms of percentage it is decreasing the. So therefore I will check that it could be in smallest way, smallest difference. So 2500, 50% is nothing but 1250, and 4000, 25% is 1000. What is the difference? 250. Now I get that 250 is difference between P and Q. Okay. How about P and R? In P and R, this is base is, R base is more than P, whereas breakup of R is much less than P. Okay, so check this one. 50% of 2500, thus we have already worked out 1250, and 12.5% of 3000, and that is 375. This is, I remember, in our previous calculation. So you have an option. If you don't remember, you can again go for the calculation, which is very simple. That is 3000 into 1 by 8. You can do that. Okay, fine. So I can see the difference is much more than 250. Difference between this 1250 and 375. So PQ, till now PQ stands the least. Next, what about QR? Here, when you look at the base, so R base is less than Q base. R breakup is less than Q breakup. The base is less, the breakup is less. So in both sides the value is decreasing. In terms of base the value is decreasing, in terms of percentage the value is decreasing. As a result, the gap may be more than what we got in the other case. Therefore, here also 250 is the least. So coming to the question, for any of the three given sports, what is the minimum difference between the number of students who like that sports in any two schools? The minimum difference between any two schools is 250, either of this figure or this. At the end you are concerned with the value, that is 250. Option choice 2. Yes? Okay, great. Now it's time to take some more questions and then work on it. Have a great day ahead.